Zelensky revealed the extent of the losses of the Ukrainian troops. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that he does not see the possibility of negotiations with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He spoke about this at the press conference held on February 25. Zelensky spoke about his conversation with the President of Russia. He met with Putin in 2019. Zelensky said that then the parties discussed the issues of the Minsk agreements, the supply of natural gas and the exchange of prisoners. He added that Russia's proposals would mean remaining in a frozen state of conflict for 20 years, indicating that the war is not over. The leader of Ukraine said that at the moment he does not see the necessary conditions for peace talks with Putin. It is still not possible to sit down at the negotiating table with Putin, because he does not want to hear anyone or anything, says Zelensky. According to Zelensky, the development of the situation on the battlefield, in particular, the issue of losses, depends on Ukraine's partners and their support. He also noted that Ukraine is not losing this war. Zelensky noted that Ukraine has no choice but to win. According to him, since February 2022, the losses of Ukrainian troops amounted to 31,000 people. He added that he cannot include the dead in the list of wounded and missing. Zelensky also talked about Ukraine's accession to NATO. According to him, the main word in this matter belongs to the USA and Germany. Zelensky stressed that he does not see any danger in inviting Ukraine to NATO. Also, Zelensky expressed hope that Turkey will diplomatically help to unblock the ports of Mykolaiv region in order to expand the grain corridor. As for the new grain agreement, as I told President Erdogan, we are in favor of expanding these corridors. If additional opportunities arise, we will be grateful, but we are not looking for an alternative to what is working now, said the Ukrainian leader. Zelensky expressed confidence that the president of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, will be able to help Ukraine in opening the port of Mykolaiv for the shipment of Ukrainian grain. Israel is exterminating the people of Gaza with the support of Western countries, Erdogan. The Israeli administration, with the tacit support of the Western countries, is mercilessly exterminating the population squeezed into a handful of land in the blockaded Gaza Strip. The president of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, said this in a video address to the participants of the extraordinary meeting of information ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. The Turkish leader noted that more than 30,000 Palestinians have been brutally killed and more than 70,000 injured in the Gaza Strip. The president wished that this meeting would be useful for the entire press community, especially for media representatives who are trying to carry out their journalistic activities in the occupied Palestinian territories. Erdogan noted that atrocities have been taking place in Gaza and the Palestinian territories occupied by Israel since October 7. Most of the Gazans killed by Israel are children, women and the elderly. Israeli occupation forces are targeting not only innocent civilians, but also press representatives who are trying to tell the world what is happening there. The number of media representatives killed by Israel to silence the free press is more than 100, Erdogan said. According to the president, despite Israel's policy of intimidation, journalists are taking all kinds of risks and fulfilling their responsibilities to the people of Gaza and the truth. President Erdogan noted that Israel, which exerted its influence on the global media, accelerated its disinformation activities. Israel uses all means, including distortion of facts and propaganda, to cover up its war crimes and crimes against humanity. The Western media has contributed to the Israeli propaganda machine with its biased reporting. Faced with such a situation, one of our responsibilities as Islamic countries is not to allow lies to hide the truth. Recording and reporting atrocities against our Gazan brothers and preventing Israel's disinformation activities is one of our most important tasks, said the Turkish leader. Attack on Rafah may be delayed, Netanyahu. Israel's attack on Rafah, in the southern Gaza Strip, could be postponed if a prisoner exchange deal is reached between Israel and Hamas. The Prime Minister of the Jewish state, Benjamin Netanyahu, announced this in an interview with the American CBC News channel. Netanyahu claimed that 18 of Hamas' 24 battalions had been destroyed and said that the intensive phase of the offensive will be completed in weeks, not months, when the assault on Rafah begins. According to Netanyahu, he asked the army to present a two-pronged plan for the attack on Rafah and the evacuation of civilians. If we reach an agreement on the exchange of prisoners, the attack on Rafah will be delayed a little. But the attack will happen anyway, says the Prime Minister. For information, about 280,000 Palestinians lived in the city of Rafah, located on the border with Egypt in the south of the Gaza Strip, before the Israeli attacks. As a result of the Israeli attacks on October 7, 2023, 1.9 million people left their homes in the Gaza Strip, which has a population of 2.3 million. Most of the displaced Palestinians have taken refuge in Rafah, which Israel previously declared safe. Rafah's population has quadrupled with arrivals from the north to 1.4 million. Due to the lack of adequate housing, most of the Palestinians who sought refuge in Rafah are trying to survive in makeshift tent camps. Israeli forces frequently carry out airstrikes on the city of Rafah. There is concern that civilians will not be able to find shelter if Israel attacks the city by land.